Hey y'all, it's Troy. I wanted to share a little tip that I learned just today that we ran across. Now, the pen bug has kind of bitten my wife a little bit since I've been collecting pens for the past however long, and I've been supplying her with pens for a while. And we went to the DC Pen Show. She decided that she wanted to try to start buying pens on her own and strike out a little bit to do her own thing. Awesome, I'm all for it. So she discovered something today, and so did I, quite frankly, that a little tip to look out for if you're buying stuff on eBay. Now, you know, eBay sometimes is hit or miss, but even when you're buying brand new stuff, when people put out listings, you don't always know exactly what you're going to get because of how scant of information the listings can be. My wife got this brand new pen here today, and this should look familiar to a lot of people who've had anything to do with pens for a while. I'll share it to you, share this for you, and to see if it's something that you recognize. Well, some of you may say, hey, that's a Pilot MR, or it may be a Pilot Metropolitan. Well, you'd be right. And when my wife bought it, the only thing that the listing gave as a description was a Pilot Animal. So she thought she was getting a whole new pen, something different than she'd already had to add to her growing collection. And her collection is growing. I mean, she's got 20-some pens in her collection now. Well, she already had this right here, a Pilot Metropolitan in turquoise. So she already had that in her collection. So unbeknownst to her, she now has two Pilot Metropolitans. We're not complaining about that, by the way. It's just that she thought she was getting something a little different, but instead ended up getting with an exact same pen. Now this happens to be kind of a lizard print on it, and the turquoise is kind of like the retro pop art thing. Well, we've got some of those already in the family too. My son has one of these turquoise ones, and for his birthday we gave him one of these, the retro pop art red. So that's what his look like. When I first started getting into fountain pens and I asked people what they thought, or if they had any recommendations maybe, I was told Pilot Metropolitan and a Lamy 2000 were the two recommendations that were given to me, and I got them both. And I got the Pilot Metropolitan in black. And it's an excellent writing pen. It is very reliable, very affordable. Now, so we've got actually a total of 5 Pilots currently, Metropolitans currently in use in the family. And not a single problem with any of them, except I had a problem with using the cartridge on this. It sucked up the ink really quickly. It just kind of evaporated. I put a converter in each of these, by the way. That's the one thing I don't like, is those little aerometric converters that do come with them. Every one of them, I just took it, chucked it in a bag. So I've got a bag full of these Pilot aerometric converters, and I bought Con 50 converters to put in each of them, which I happen to have just one left. So when this one arrived today, I put that converter, and now my wife has the kind of ink that she wants. So she got a Private Reserve Dolphin Blue put into this one. So just something to look out for when you're shopping on eBay. Even though it may be a little cheaper, as it turned out, with shipping it was over $13 for this. These two were like $12. No, wait a minute. This I got at Birmingham Pens in a deal, where if you bought a pen you get some ink free. This one I got as a part of a deal where you buy 2 on Mass Drop for like $12 a piece, and I think I paid $13 to $15 for that one. This one was $13 something that my wife got when you included shipping on it. So when you look at listings, just be wary. It may be the same thing that's already out there. Just like I've bought pens that were marketed as East Vita, then they actually turned out to be Jinhao pens. So you never know what you're going to get, but you can't complain about the quality that my wife got in this. But just a tip, so just be wary when you read descriptions. Look over them really carefully, because you may get something a little different than you thought you were going to get. In this case, it just happened to be a good old-fashioned, reliable Pilot Metropolitan instead of something that was a little less known. She just thought it was going to be a totally different pen than a Metropolitan. But it's kind of hard to be disappointed when you get another Pilot Metropolitan. Know what I'm saying?